Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is a video response to Voices of Mars, who shot his video in costume, and it is Halloween, so I figured you never see me on camera, so you might want to see one of my costumes and my responses to his I'm a Wargamer video. So let's get going with that. Okay, so I realized that intro might have been a little melodramatic, little dramatic, but you know, it's Halloween, and I don't spend much time in front of the camera. If you watch my videos, it's mainly just my hands, and ironically enough, one of my hands that you see most often is covered in this video. This is actually my Ramos costume, and the reason why I'm wearing it is because it's Halloween, but also because, you know, if you guys see me at any of the conventions, oftentimes this is what I'm wearing. This is one of the things that we do at SoCal Malifaux is we dress up as our favorite characters, and we go to events or we go to conventions that way. Okay, so why did I start doing vlogs of my gaming and my hobby experience and all that? Why did I do that? Well, to be honest with you, I really didn't do YouTube or show much interest in YouTube. It was something that I watched. It was something that my brother, Heretic of You, that he did all the time, and I used to love watching his videos. And as it turned out, one day we were playing a game of Malifaux, and he forgot his camera. So I happened to have a camera on me, and he said, "Hey, why don't you just record this and put this online?" So I did. I recorded the video, the battle report, put that online. I think we did a couple at the time, and then what happened after that was he watched my videos, and he would ask me to cover certain topics because we were both kind of learning Malifaux at the same time, but I was really following the game maybe a little bit more closely than he was. I was actually starting to get further and further into the game, and possibly looking at becoming a henchman. So honestly, my whole video channel was originally designed to be a sister channel for Heretic of You's channel, specifically for Malifaux, and I was gonna kind of cover other topics and things that he didn't cover, and frankly it was really just for his enjoyment and for his daughter. His daughter wanted to learn the Colette crew, so I shot a video of the Colette crew, and then after that, you know, I just kind of got comfortable shooting videos and decided that, hey, why don't I just cover some topics that you don't really see on YouTube, and that's kind of where I took it from there. Okay, a little backstory on myself and wargaming. Well, let's see. We started wargaming about 21 years ago, right when I was getting out of high school. And my brother introduced me to miniature painting, and that's really where we started. My brother and I started just doing painting Ral Partha minis, Reaper miniatures, Grenadier, and then one day we found some Games Workshop models. And he brought those home, and we painted them up. And then, after a while, he brought home the game, Warhammer 40K. This was the Rogue Trader edition, so we played that. And we've been hooked ever since. We've been playing 40K for most of our careers. We played some fantasy, and then we played quite a bit of Blood Bowl, actually. If you watch Heretic of You's channel, there's a lot of Blood Bowl on that channel. It is one of our favorite games, and oddly enough, we were trying to get, we wanted to pick up another game so that we can have a different game, and then hopefully get more people involved in our Blood Bowl League. As it turned out, that game was Malifaux, and really picked up that game and really started to enjoy it. So when Malifaux came out, that was the whole setting of when my channel started. And I just decided I wanted to put some stuff on that I thought maybe I could contribute to. For example, one of the things that my brother and I do is we're really big on painting, and we're really big on the whole experience of gaming. So painting, hobby, as well as knowing the rules, as well as playing the games. We really think that that's the more balanced or the more rounded experience of gaming. And we wanted to make sure that, if we're going to do battle reports on our channels, that we would include only painted miniatures, because you don't see a whole lot of channels or a whole lot of battle reports that are 100% entirely painted. We also kind of made it a big deal to do scenery, so we wanted to have the full thing: scenery, good terrain, painted miniatures. We wanted to have and the full experience of gaming. So that was one of the things we wanted to do with both of our channels. And then also we wanted to cover some other topics that we thought maybe really weren't entirely discussed or covered on other channels. So I talked about miniature bags, I think, traveling with your miniatures. We also covered just getting started in miniature gaming, what you're going to need. My brother covered a lot of like editorial or commentary style videos. And so these were, we felt that these were fun videos to make, and we thought that maybe we were adding something to the YouTube gamer community. Okay, so what am I playing right now? Obviously, Malifaux. That's the game that really takes up the majority of my time, and not necessarily the playing. When we started SoCal Malifaux and I started henching, that really took over the majority of my game time. So I really don't play Malifaux very much, not nearly as much as I do running games, promoting conventions, just promoting our club. So, but I still try to get in a game once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks as I can. In addition to that, I'll play a little bit of Blood Bowl from now and then. Whenever folks are around, we might play some Blood Bowl. I might play some Puppet Wars with my wife. You might have seen that video. I will also play Super Dungeon Explorer. That's another game that it's kind of a one-off game that we run. But yeah, most of my time, the overwhelming majority of my hobby time is Malifaux and running this great club, SoCal Malifaux. Now, part of that the whole community experience and what we've discovered as we started our club and as we started to grow members was just how many YouTubers we have here in Southern California. For example, we didn't know that Chris and Cameron, Veil of Darkness 000, and Rise of the Failbot, these are the Through the Breach guys. We didn't even know that we were neighbors with these guys. We watched their videos on YouTube, and we're like, hey, those guys, they showed up at our that hobby store. We should go game with them. So so those guys, obviously, Chung and WG Consortium, Lester Bursley, recently Mars. Ran into you at SoCal SmackDown, and we're fellow YouTubers. So there's some really active people down here in Southern California, and that's amazing, especially when our channels can all get together. Tin Man XL, that's another guy up in Bakersfield. Tin Man XL, War Machine player, but also plays Malifaux. You've got Bakersfield Malifaux up there, our good buddy Aaron. So just a huge active community. We didn't even realize how blessed we were to be in this area, what kind of gaming and community support we had available to us, until we really kind of put our best foot forward and said, hey, let's start playing some games out here, and let's start meeting the community instead of just going to a hobby store, playing against each other, and then that being the end of it. Okay, so some other things that I do outside of wargaming. Well, costuming is one. One thing that my wife and I really have picked up and enjoyed now is kind of the whole costuming and going to things like steampunk conventions or even Renaissance fairs. We have like Renaissance garb. You might have seen that on an earlier video. But that was something that I didn't really think I would be into. My wife is a drama teacher, so she keeps costumes around all the time. I was not historically a costume guy, but Malifaux and and spending time with my wife. This is one thing that we both really enjoy doing, so it's a good way for both of us to connect. Now, as far as like the real life job and that sort of thing, well, I do manage a laboratory for one of the larger coding companies, not just in North America, but possibly the world. You've definitely heard of this company. I don't really talk about it much because it's my private channel, and I have to kind of separate that from my professional life. And it's kind of unfortunate because I think the stigma with gamers, even though it's slowly going away with things like The Big Bang Theory or Halo, or just how popular World of Warcraft is, and that sort of thing. I think that there's a growing acceptance for gaming, but it's not quite at the the white collar corporate America world, and that's my other world, is being part of that world. Now that job does put me on the road sometimes, and I get to go and play Malifaux in different parts of the country, and that's always fun. But yeah, that's another thing. I mean, that's my professional life. It's a pretty good living, and I really do enjoy what I do. It's a very unique job. So managing a lab, and I like Ramos, what a shock, I know. But in addition to that, like the costuming and my professional life, you know, just being a married guy, being married to this wonderful, understanding wife, who I know you guys are fans of, and I'm definitely a big fan of my wife. And other than that, it's just kind of being an adult, social life, and, you know, paying my bills. And you know, occasionally we'll get out and watch sports together, like basketball games, or we'll go to concerts, that sort of thing. So, you know, maybe not the most exciting life, and I consider myself an indoorsman now. So not really, you know, I'm not really the guy that's gonna go eat granola and like attack a trail or climb a giant rock or anything like that. Okay, so your other question was, what's the point of this video? And well, the point of my video is to reply to your video. But honestly, I guess we'll just talk a little bit of a commentary, if you will. Gaming has been a lifelong thing for me. It's been, and ironically enough, it's one of those things that, in my particular situation, it's not like something I can share with the people I work with, because just because of the corporate situation and the culture that is there. I think there's kind of a stigma involved with gaming, and it's I'm a little ashamed that I can't be like a lot of other folks that are in our club that I know, that can, you know, set up their models on their desk in their office or something like that. That's not an option for me. The other thing is, you know, with adult life, there's certain expectations too that you can't in certain areas of society, or certain sections of society, if I will say, especially the hyper-conservative kind. This isn't the kind of thing where, you know, you can say, oh, well, you know, in my spare time I like to paint little miniature men and flip cards and, you know, tell people off, like, I killed your guy, and that kind of thing. And it's kind of a shame. It's kind of a shame, because you go to, when you're in a social gathering, you have what I call airport or airplane conversations. You know, if you're sitting next to somebody on an airplane, there are certain topics that you can talk about. You can talk about the weather, you can talk about traffic for some reason, you can talk about what your kids did or what sports they play, and then you can talk about what stuff you own, your house or your car, that kind of thing. And that's it. That's literally the standard for adult socialization today. And that's a shame. There's not the one thing that wargaming, table gaming, RPGs, the one thing that all of those have in common is imagination. And sadly, in today's society, imagination is something in adults that's frowned upon. And personally, I think imagination is a strength. I think the ability to think a little bit out of bounds, or to stretch the limits of what you know and what is known, I think it can be a very powerful thing. It's still very powerful in media. It's still very powerful in entertainment. Yet, to the average white collar, upper middle class, whatever, 9-to-5er, imagination is something that's frowned upon. If you like something like gaming or RPGs or something like that, then they look at you like, oh, he's kind of a weirdo, and he dresses in leather dusters and dresses up like his favorite miniature, and that's kind of a shame. So anyway, just wanted to say thank you, Mars. Really appreciate the video. There's a lot of things that I thought that you said were dead on, and a lot of things that we can do to encourage other wargamers out there. Not so much to like kind of push them, but really just to encourage them, let them know, hey, there are other folks out there like us, and when it comes down to it, gamers are pretty damn decent people, and that's something that my wife is learning as she walks into this world as well, is that gamers can be very decent, good people, and they're safe people. It's very important to know that. So anyway, that's it for this video. Club is doing well. If you don't know about our end of year campaign, you may want to check that out, either on our Facebook or our website, socalmalifaux.com. And that's it. I'm not gonna dance, Mars. Sorry. You got me on camera though, so woo, bye.